Hello, welcome back to our study of Peninei Halacha, teachings of Rebbe Eliezer Malamed Shlita. We continue with our study with the laws of the Jewish wedding. The next chapter is called Shabbat Chattan. Minhag Ashkenaz likro Shabbat shlefnei hachasana Shabbat Chattan. So in the Ashkenazic tradition, the Shabbos before the wedding, we call it the Shabbos Chatan, Shabbat Chattan. We call it the Aufruf. The chassan gets an aliyah, he gets called to the Torah, and in his honor they have great simcha, because the blessing of that week, which of course is the wedding itself, everything stems from Shabbos. So the wedding in effect begins already on the Shabbos beforehand, the celebratory feeling and all the blessings that come with it. In Sephardic customs, we have seen this in the past. He quotes from the Rashba and other places. However, today they do not follow this way. And ostensibly thinks the reason is because they want to have a celebration where both the bride and groom could be together. Many have the custom where bride and groom do not see one another for a week before the wedding, or a number of days, so therefore they couldn't be together on that Shabbos. Nevertheless, even according to Sephardic custom, they have an aliyah for the chassan, or the chatan, before the wedding, that Shabbos before the wedding. In America, we've seen, again, to obviate this problem of the bride and grooming together, so let's say if you have a wedding taking place on a Sunday, so often they'll make the Aufruf not the day before, but 8 days before, on the Shabbos before, because this way, first of all, it's a lot to do immediately the day before the wedding. And also, we want to be able to have the bride and the groom, future bride and future groom, together at that simcha. On the Shabbos following the wedding, this is also a festive Shabbos, and of course there is a chiyuv aliyah. The chassan, who has just gotten married that week, is obligated to get an aliyah. We give him an aliyah, and this is the week during the Sheva Brachos. And therefore all the Shabbos meals, they become not only Shabbos meals, but also Sheva Brachos. So many in Sephardic tradition, if you say the word Shabbat Chattan, what we call Aufruf, they call that the Shabbat after the wedding, because the aliyah that the chatan gets after he's married, that's why it's called Shabbat Chattan. By us, in the Ashkenazic tradition, we call it just simply Shabbos Sheva Brachos, because we've already had the Aufruf, just different nomenclature, but the idea of celebrating is simply the same. Haminig la'alos l'Torah b'Shabbat shlefnei hachasana bol haros shekol ha'aliyah v'haiskadmus sheish l'chasan b'chasana b'ot mikoach haTorah. The reason why we begin the celebration for the chasan before his wedding through an aliyah is to show that anything that he's accomplished, anything that he's going to achieve, has to be through the Torah. V'alkein mitoch ha'aliyah shel chasan l'Torah b'Shabbat shlefnei hachasana hu mamshich el chasunaso. And to begin in this new stage in his life as he's a groom, becoming a married man, we want to do so through stepping up to the Torah. V'aliyah l'Torah b'Shabbat shel achar chasana ba'al laharos shebezchus hachasana chasan yochel hamshich lisalos malos haruchnios v'alken miyad l'achar chasan hu olu l'Torah. We also want to show that after he's married, it's not the end of something. It's merely just a waypoint, but he still has the ability to elevate himself in the ways of the Torah. To keep that, we show this by giving an aliyah as well. Aliyah sachasan b'Shabbos chasan. As I mentioned earlier, that the chatan, to get an aliyah on this Shabbos, is considered a chiyuv, perhaps even more of an obligation than someone who has a yard site. The custom is that we give maftir, the haftorah, to the chasan. And some have the custom of giving the third aliyah, or perhaps the final aliyah. Again, if the chasan is a Kohen or a Levi, then it goes without saying, you can get a Kohen or a Levi or a maftir. And of course, we should also try to give an aliyah to the father of the bride and the father of the groom. Yesh noagin, Some people have the custom to sing the chasan down in shul and to have celebrations. They say particularly if the chassan is living by himself, we have to have people that will sing him into shul because we're worried that he's going to be so tired he'll oversleep. They want to make sure that he gets there in time so that he can receive his aliyah. He says nevertheless, even if they don't have the minhag of dancing someone into shul, they should at least make sure that someone wakes him up so that he can get there on time. Brings a custom also from the Machzor Vitri, the old custom from the time of the Rishonim. Some have the custom of putting the groom already like where the rabbi sits next to the Aron Kodesh. We sing when he goes up to have his aliyah. Of course, we have the custom of throwing candy as a sign, a good sign of a good mazel. And the source of this is in the Gemara and the Talmud. The Gemara and Brachas Daf Nun. However, we have to make sure that we do things in a tasteful fashion, that we don't create a situation where the shul gets messy, where things can spoil or chas v'shalom take away from the honor that the shul deserves. In many places, the custom is that the women are the ones who throw the sweets. The custom is that those who daven with the bride and the groom on these special Shabbosos before and or after their wedding, they should give special blessings to the bride and groom. And he quotes in the Medrash, there's a great help for the bride and groom with these blessings. He says that the blessings that Rus received when she was getting married to Boaz, it helped save her descendant David HaMelech from further trouble. Therefore, giving good wishes and blessing to the bride and groom, it's not merely a nice thing, but it's actually considered a type of chesed. So in order to give the proper blessings and the proper honor to this occasion, we have a special gathering, what we would call a kiddush. He quotes that in Worms, in Eastern Europe, back when, they had a custom that they would make this on Friday night after the meal. Now we do it after Shachris, we have a kiddush. He says that maybe it makes sense that if in the winter months when Shabbos begins so early and there's not that much time in the daytime, maybe you could have the kiddush at night. Whereas in the summer, when we have plenty of time and Shabbos starts late, we can make the kiddush after Shachris. Whatever it might be, the custom is that we want to be mesameach chasam v'kala. We want to show them the proper honor that they deserve, being in the status of a king and a queen. They enter into this stage on the Shabbos before the wedding, continues through the wedding, the week of Shav Brachas, and the Shabbos after the wedding. Thank you for listening, and we will see you again here next time as we study the laws of Peninei Halacha from Eliezer Melamed Shlita.